I used to live in Florida, alone in an apartment. I'd recently finished college and had started working for an organization. There was an apartment opposite to mine which had been empty for about 6 to 7 months now. It was available for rent, but no one had rented it so far. One day, I came back from work around 9 p.m. and had my dinner and went to sleep. Around 12 midnight, I woke up as someone was ringing my doorbell. I got back and wondered who would be ringing the bell at this time. I looked through the peephole, and it was a man dressed in a suit. I opened the door and said, "Hello." He replied, "Hey, sorry to disturb you at this time. I just moved into your neighborhood and needed a screwdriver to fix a leak. Can you help me with that?" I replied, "Welcome to the neighborhood. Sure, just wait for a minute and I'll get it for you." I closed the door and got the screwdriver. When I opened the door again, he was gone. He said that he was moving into the apartment in front of me. It was weird because there was no moving trucks or any lights on. I left my house and went up to the house in front of mine and rang the doorbell. Just as I expected, no one came out. I was really confused and then looked around the street, but it was completely empty. I just went back to my house and went back to sleep. As soon as I got into bed, I heard the doorbell again. I got up and looked through the peephole before opening the door. It was the same suited man. I grabbed the screwdriver from the table and opened the door. I said, "Here you go. I came up to your house as you disappeared, but no one answered." He replied, "Oh, sorry. Thanks for the screwdriver." As soon as I handed it over to him, he stabbed it into my chest. All of a sudden, I woke up sweating. It was a bad nightmare. I got up from my bed and went to the kitchen to drink water. I looked at the clock, and it was 12 midnight, and as soon as I was done drinking water, I heard the doorbell. Someone was at the door. I looked through the peephole and saw the same suited man from my dream. I opened the door, and he said the exact same words. I locked the door when I told him that I was going to get the screwdriver, and this time stayed at the door, looking through the peephole to track his movement. He couldn't see that I was looking at him. I kept looking, and he didn't move, so I thought that it was just my mind messing with me, so I went to get the screwdriver. When I got back, I opened the door to hand it over to him, but he was gone. There was no one there. I was in denial. There's no way you live out your dream. I started having second thoughts of going to his house. While I was standing on the porch of my house, I could see a light turned on in his living room. Well, that wasn't a part of my dream, so I went to his house and rang the doorbell. I waited for a minute and then rang again. No one responded, so I went back to my house. As I was walking back, I heard his voice from behind me. "Hey," he said. I turned around and saw it was the suited man. So I went over to him and asked if he still needed the screwdriver. I was scared that he might stab me, but he just thanked me and went back to his house. I went back home and slept. After a while, I heard the doorbell again. I looked through the door peephole, and it was him again. I was kinda annoyed now, because I hate when I have to get up from my sleep. I opened the door and said hi again, and he apologized for bothering once again. This time, he requested to use my phone to make a call, so I let him inside and allowed him to use the landline phone which was on the kitchen table. As soon as he got inside, he locked the door and took out a gun. He pointed it towards me and told me to keep quiet and don't move. Then he tied me to a sofa in my living room. I started to panic and hoping this was a real dream. I can hear the man going through my house but wasn't sure what he wanted. Then silence. After a few hours I had managed to break free. I called the cops, but it was useless now. He was gone. I described his appearance, and it turned out that he was wanted by the police for a long time now. The following day I received notice I officially have a new neighbor. The vacant apartment across from me was no longer vacant.